Welcome to Hello Baltimore County. I'm your host, Ellen Kobler. You can hardly turn on the national news without hearing about the Zika virus. Here to provide us with in-depth information is Dr. Lucia Donatelli, who is Chief of the Protection, Prevention, and Preparedness Bureau of the Baltimore County Health Department. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So Zika sounds new and sort of exotic and incredibly tragic when it involves pregnant women. Tell us, why is this virus just now coming into focus?
Well, it actually has been around for a little while. The Zika virus was first found in rhesus monkeys in the Zika forest in Uganda. And so there have been isolated outbreaks in places like, in some places in Africa, Southeast Asia, but it wasn't until May of 2015 that we had the first confirmed case in Brazil. So that's when Zika finally hit the Americas. And since then it has spread to Central and South America, the Caribbean, some of the U.S. territories, throughout the world.
And how is it believed that the virus traveled from continent to continent? Is it through travelers, like the little mosquito didn't fly all the way across the world?
No,
right?
no. It's through people, through people. Local transmission occurs when a mosquito bites a person that still has the infection in their blood, and so then the mosquito becomes infected, and then the next person that they bite then can possibly get the disease.
Well, I mean, it's really kind of scary. How does somebody get the virus just from a mosquito bite, a single mosquito bite?
Well, what we're focusing on primarily is from mosquitoes, but there are other ways that the virus can be transmitted. The virus can also be transmitted from a man to a woman sexually, so sexual transmission from a man to a woman. Also through blood. It is thought that the virus can be transmitted through blood.
Okay.
So for instance, blood donations through a blood transfusion. And then there are theoretical thoughts that it could also be transmitted through organ or tissue donation as well. The other way that it can be transmitted is from a pregnant woman to her unborn child.
Right. Okay, now not to get too particular here, but you did say from a man to a woman sexually. Is it not then from a man to a man sexually?
I'm sorry, from a man to a man also.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just to clarify
Yes.
that. Okay. So most people are likely to get a mosquito bite over the course of the summer. How concerned should they be, and what should they do to protect themselves?
Well, at this point in the continental United States, there is no local, active, ongoing transmission of Zika virus. The cases that we have in Maryland, there are to date about 26, have all been travel associated.
Okay, people who traveled somewhere else, got the mosquito bite, and came home.
Correct. Contracted the disease, right, when they were abroad. And
right,
then,
okay, it's not necessarily a mosquito. Okay, so should people be concerned about traveling this summer?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
It's very important that before they do any traveling that they check on the CDC's website to see where the areas are with active ongoing transmission of Zika.
Okay, and if you're not a woman who's pregnant or planning to become pregnant, do you need to be concerned, and what symptoms could occur?
You still need to be concerned because you don't want to be the person that becomes sick with Zika virus and doesn't do the things to protect themselves and to protect other people. And then, you don't want to be that person that is going to be the cause of local transmission.
Right. Okay, good point. Now, pregnant women are at particular risk, so what are their risks and what should they do?
Well, there's been a lot of information in the media about specifically birth defects, microcephaly.
Yeah.
The reason that we are so concerned about the Zika virus is because it can affect a baby, an unborn child, and it has been linked to, and the studies show that it can cause birth defects ranging from stillbirth to microcephaly, but there are other things as well, such as impaired vision, impaired hearing, impaired growth in general, seizure disorders, neurological disorders. Those are the things that, how Zika can affect a baby.
Oh my goodness. So what would you recommend for a pregnant woman who has plans to travel into one of the Zika affected areas?
Well, most importantly, that they need to protect themselves against mosquito bites. And when they come home, they really need to monitor themselves again, and to protect themselves again from mosquito bites, and monitor themselves for symptoms. Keeping in mind that only about 1 in 5 people actually comes down with symptoms of Zika virus.
Okay, so a lot of people may have it and could be somebody who could be transmitting the disease, but they don't even have symptoms.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And as far as protecting yourself from mosquitoes, what's the official advice?
Well, you should wear clothing that's going to provide a barrier against mosquito bites, using EPA-registered insect repellent. Another important thing to protect against mosquitoes is to monitor your yard and your community, and avoid creating mosquito breeding sites by getting rid of your trash around your yard and by emptying water holding containers.
Okay, so don't provide breeding grounds for mosquitoes.
Correct.
Okay, and what is the Baltimore County Health Department doing specifically in response to this threat?
We are taking calls from concerned residents as well as healthcare providers. When a patient comes into a provider's office and they are concerned about Zika virus, we help decide whether testing is warranted or not. And going back to your other question, any pregnant woman that comes back from a Zika-infected area should get, regardless of whether they have symptoms or not, they should get tested for Zika
Is it
virus.
a blood test?
Blood and urine.
Really? Okay. And then, interesting, so then if they find that they have it, is there something that can be done to protect them further?
Well, unfortunately, there's no medication to treat Zika virus. There's no vaccine. Basically, you treat the symptoms. So you would use antipyretics for treating fever. If you became nauseous, you would use anti-nausea medications, rest and fluids. It's symptomatic treatment.
Okay, so in the minute or so that we have left, just kind of if you can give a general overview about Zika and people needing to protect themselves from mosquitoes.
Well, we have a public messaging campaign, which is to Zap Zika, to protect you and your family from Zika. We want you to wrap up.
Okay.
The W is to wear protective clothing, long sleeve shirts, hats, long sleeve pants. The R is to repair window and door screens so that mosquitoes stay outside and don't come in the house. Because these mosquitoes, these 80 species mosquitoes, they like being around where people are.
Right, and once they get in, forget it. They're in.
Yeah.
All right, so the A?
So the A is for always empty water-holding containers in your yard or in your community, and make sure that you dump your trash to avoid creating mosquito breeding sites.
Okay.
The P is to protect yourself using EPA-registered insect repellent. The U is to use protection. If you've been to a Zika-infected area, use protection such as either abstaining from sex or wearing condoms.
Okay.
And then the P is for pregnant women. They should avoid traveling to areas that are affected by Zika virus.
All right, well, thank you so much for this information.
You're welcome.
Sure, and thank you for watching Hello Baltimore County. You can find out more about the county's efforts to prevent Zika on the county website at baltimorecountymd.gov, and we encourage you to connect with Baltimore County government on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time.